Maybe the clearest sign that this is more about pushing up numbers than catching violent criminals on the run is that one of the key places they're now fishing for arrest is immigration court when people show up for their hearings.
We captured the moment two men went from migrants to detainees. It happened last week at Dallas Immigration Court when nearly a dozen people showed up to have their asylum cases heard. Their cases were dismissed by the judge, and when they walked out of the courtroom, plainclothes federal agents were waiting to take them into custody. ICE is asking immigration judges across the country to dismiss the court cases of certain migrants so the agency can arrest them once their hearings end and place them in a fast-track deportation process known as expedited removal. Outside a Miami courthouse, this migrant in cuffs says in Spanish, "It's a trap."
And to be clear about what is happening there, generally, you can't be deported if you have an active immigration case pending in court. But if your case is dismissed and you've been here for less than 2 years, the government can move to put you through expedited removal, meaning you can be deported without any hearing at all. So, administration attorneys are asking for cases to be dismissed, and immigration judges, all of whom work for the DOJ, have been told to grant those requests. It is the laziest possible way to juice up your numbers because you're targeting people who are going through the system the right way and turning them into people that you can immediately arrest and deport. Trump is also working to end programs that give temporary legal protection to certain immigrants from countries like Afghanistan, Haiti and Venezuela. And by September, it's estimated these changes will cause nearly 1 million people who've been vetted and given permission to live and work here to lose those protections and become at risk for deportation. But obviously the most visible aspect of this surge in enforcement has been those raids that you've seen on TV, a term, by the way, that Tom Homan does not care for.
Well, I don't like the term raid because when we go out there, it's a targeted enforcement operation. We know who we're looking for, and we have fugitive operations operational sheets at every arrest. You say, here's who I'm going to go arrest, here's where I think I'm going to find him, here's his immigration history, here's his criminal history. We're not going on the streets looking for people different than us. We're targeted enforcement operations.
Oh, that's reassuring. I'm glad that Homer's not just arresting people different from him, because that'd be bad news for anyone who doesn't sound like John C. Reilly being actively drowned. Unfortunately, his claim there that ICE is engaged in strictly targeted enforcement is at odds with internal emails showing immigration officials have been urged to turn the creative knob up to 11 when it comes to enforcement, and that if it involves handcuffs on wrists, it's probably worth pursuing, which in another context would obviously be very hot, but really isn't here.